Hello, I'm Penny.
And I'm Alex.
And this is our first vlog. And this is our first vlog.
Bit complicated.
There's a microphone meant to be over there.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Penny.
And I'm Alex.
And this is our first vlog. We decided to embark on the whole vlogging journey because we're going down a bit of a journey ourselves, having a baby. The reason why we thought we'd share this experience is because I have a neurological medical condition called narcolepsy, and when I looked into pregnancy and having kids, it was hard to find someone else who was going through or who had gone through a similar experience, and it would have really helped me.
Also, yeah, it gives a lot of hope to people who do have narcolepsy, and that it is possible. It's a bit difficult, but it is possible.
So narcolepsy, as I said, is a neurological medical condition, and it's basically excessive sleepiness. My doctor said to describe it to people as being deprived of sleep for 72 hours and then having to complete a really boring and monotonous task at 2 a.m. in the morning and just having that overwhelming need to go to sleep. And so that's how it feels for me on a day-to-day basis. I'm obviously on medication, and that's great. It's well managed. I was diagnosed when I was 14, so I've got it pretty well managed. So there's different variations of narcolepsy, which makes it quite difficult to diagnose, but I'm what they call a true narcoleptic because I experience the full suite of symptoms. So there's 5 key symptoms, which is the excessive sleepiness, there's hallucination, there's CATAPLEXY, which affects your central nervous system and is triggered by an emotion, and I get it when I laugh and all of my muscles go limp and I collapse. And then there's sleep paralysis. Is that the 5? I think so. And then automatic behaviour. So doing things that you would in your day-to-day life and then having no recollection of actually doing them. So they're the full suite of 5 symptoms that define a true narcoleptic.
And I've decided to marry this narcoleptic and have children with her.
Lucky you.
Yeah, just to challenge myself.
I'm quite pragmatic and realistic when it comes to narcolepsy.
Yeah, you don't take it too seriously, but you understand that it is a serious condition at the same time.
Yeah.
It has its challenges, that's for sure.
So in this video, we just thought we'd touch upon what narcolepsy is and how it can affect pregnancy. Obviously, it's different for everyone. And if you think you've got narcolepsy, you should consult a medical professional about it. I would say I'm highly functioning and very well managed.
We're hoping that we can add a little bit of hope to people who do have any sort of medical condition who are looking to have children, and try and share with you that it can be done. And it's obviously not going to be easy, but we are going to have a crack at it. And we just want to share our experiences. There'll be times when we laugh, times when we're pretty upset as well. There'll be times where we're pretty delirious as well, I'd imagine. But it is just to show that you shouldn't really let certain things hold you back from achieving the things that you want out of life. Mm-hmm. And our decision to have a child with Penny's narcolepsy is something that's not going to hold us back from enjoying a normal family life. Ever
since I was diagnosed with narcolepsy, I've known that having kids was going to be difficult, and my doctor basically said just cross that bridge when you get to it.
On that bridge.
Yeah. A lot of bridges prior to Alex collapsed. Yeah.
Burnt.
Yeah. Poor foundations. Having a kid, I always knew it was going to be difficult, but I didn't know if I'd ever meet someone who was willing to take on that difficulty with me. And then I met Alex. What a guy.
Yeah. Either a really good guy or not a very smart guy.
Yeah.
One, two.
Yeah. maybe a bit of both. We wrote down some questions prior to.
Yeah.
Just to be a little bit prepared for this. You ready?
Ready?
When we first started dating, did you have any hesitations about dating me because of narcolepsy?
No, not really. The only thing was...
It was very desperate.
Yeah. I looked past it because I thought you were super interesting and...
No, hang on. For the record, Alex didn't think I was super interesting. Our first date, he thought I was actually very boring.
Yeah. The only thing I was worried about is having kids. That's for sure, because she was on medication, which the medication at the time would affect childbirth and the child. So yes, but other than that, no, not really. She was, super creative, super really interesting.
Because we'd had some pretty open and honest conversations early on, I broached the whole family topic with Alex really early, like maybe 2 months in.
Yeah. I didn't mind it though. I was pretty happy you brought it up.
I think I said run as fast as you can. Something like that.
Well, I like a challenge.
Yeah.
No. Penny was who was I to judge someone because of their medical condition? When they're such a lovely human, there's no reason that I shouldn't. Things can always be worked out. I was always thinking, if we can't have kids or if it is really just too difficult to physically have children, we could always adopt. And Penny was keen on having a family, and she just ticked so many of my boxes. That I was like, I'm willing to sacrifice whatever I've got to sacrifice to make it happen.
I asked you not to Google anything and to ask me first. In previous relationships, there was a lot of assuming going on. And so I wanted Alex to actually talk to me about it before consulting Google. And then you also rang your parents. When you told me about that conversation, I was like, I think this guy's being brought up really well. Because your parents gave like the best advice.
Yeah, they did. They just said, that if you really like this girl, you shouldn't let that sort of hold you back, Cross that bridge, I guess, when you get to it, like, your doctor said. But yeah, they were sort of like,
Your dad said...
Don't judge me.
What did your dad said something about that I hadn't blood-shocked the government?
My dad was very impressed that Penny just hadn't got on the government scheme for her disability and just got government. So, and that's the other thing. I was very impressed that Penny hasn't let this hold her back at all. She's been very successful in her industry. She's very high functioning for someone who's a narcoleptic. But yeah, I wasn't going to let any of that hold me back when I really, was caring more and more about someone.
And your friends were great too. Oh, I remember all of this. You don't.
Just got a better memory than me.
You went away for a weekend with your friends and must have come up. Well, I think all of them were really supportive, but I think Jack said something like, there are going to be so many unknown obstacles that hit you throughout life. This is a known obstacle that you can work with because it's known, and if you care for the person that you're with,
we tackle them together.
Yeah.
He's a wise man.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. He says some very unwise things, but he says a lot of wise things too. Yeah, no, my only hesitancy was the medication, really, and the effects on children, but as you'll find, as we discuss, that just got better and better.
Yeah.
I'm very, very, very lucky that we could modify medication to make it work.
I think from my end, I was worried about finances because initially before we went and saw my specialist to sort of like press the go button, I thought that I was going to have to go off all medication, and when I go off all medication, I'm just useless. I'm a zombie, can't do much. I thought that I was just going to be a blob for 9 months, and that upset me and also worried me because I didn't want to put my partner or my family, I didn't want to be a burden on them in support as well as financial support. And that was something that really...
Yeah, you've been upset about that a few times.
Yeah.
Before this, it would have been even longer. So Penny would have had to get off her medication that she was on for 3 months prior to starting. And then we would have had to try starting. And then we're both a bit older. So the process could take far more than 9 months. It could be 12 to 18 months. Like minimum 12 months. That should be an absolute zombie.
Mm.
So for me, that was pretty intimidating. I was more than willing to do it, but the way it's worked out is a hell of a lot better than what I was expecting.
I was willing to do it too. I kind of feel like sometimes a little bit of an underdog, but there's this quite a ferocious competitiveness within me. So when someone says, oh, maybe I wouldn't do that, or I don't think you should do that, if I honestly think I can handle it, I almost use that as a bit of ammunition.
Bit of fuel to the fire.
A bit of fuel to the fire. Not necessarily even to prove them wrong. I think it's more to prove myself to myself that I can do it. So I was willing to also go through that. And that worried me a little bit, mainly from the sleep side of things, but also from the cataplexy side of things.
Yeah. Remember, like, most of her life, if she got overwhelmed with joy or laughter, her whole body collapses. Or elements of it, her legs go, or her breathing goes, or
my speech goes slurred.
Depending on how severe it is.
Knees buckle.
I've been lucky I haven't seen Penny have a full cataplexy, whatever it is, response. I haven't seen one fully yet. I've seen minor occurrences, but we were so lucky. So about 8 weeks into dating, Penny got put onto this new medication that she could become overjoyed, and she could laugh, and she could enjoy herself and allow herself to feel those feelings without worrying about
that. I wasn't miserable.
No.
Right?
I just remember you telling me that it's it's always hard to be when you'll do it even though you know it's fun.
Yeah, a lot of people with narcolepsy suffer from anxiety and depression because if they experience cataplexy with it, they'll slowly, without meaning to, detach from emotion because it's really tough to go through cataplexy because of an emotion. And so that was sort of like, if that hadn't happened to me, I did at one point say that I felt a little bit numb, and I went on a bit of a journey to work out a way to feel satisfied and content and joy without having to necessarily have the overwhelming and obvious display of it.
Mm.
Which sounds intense, and it is. So then when Alex and I started dating and 8 months in, I got put on this medication.
8 weeks?
8 weeks. I got put on this medication. I remember walking along the beach. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I was like, I just feel free.
Yeah, worked out well for me because then she was allowing herself to be happy being around me. You're just overjoyed with my presence.
Yes. Next question. Did we do any preparation leading up to trying to have a baby from a medical health front? Yes.
There's a few things to address when you're trying to get a narcoleptic pregnant.
Yeah.
So not from my side, but Penny has to do a few things.
I've been with my specialist for over 20 years, and so every time I would go and see her for an appointment, I would always bring up the kid thing. So I kind of knew I had a rough idea of how things might have to go when it came to actually saying, so I've met this guy and we will probably end up getting married and having kids. What do I need to do in preparation to having kids? We discussed my options, and there aren't a whole lot of options, except for me, it turned out really good because there was medication that I'd initially been on, and back in the day, it was thought that it wasn't safe to be on to conceive, but over the years it's been found to be safe. She also thought that I didn't want to go back on that medication because I didn't overly like it, but when she said that was my basically only option of having medication whilst pregnant, I was like, sign me up. So
well, yeah, you had to get off that other
yeah,
the other medication because it does cause deformities in babies.
yeah,
So, and you had to get off that 3 months before you even
yeah,
looked at trying. But luckily, you know, there's been enough research. I think ultimately she wants you on both of them.
yeah. So
in the
then
future, but
there's
not for right now.
another medication that I take for the cataplexy to put a lid on that, and that was actually the one which probably they had more concerns about in the end. But then my specialist referred me to an obstetric physician who deals with the medication side of pregnancy, and she did a bit of an assessment and advised me that I'd be okay to stay on that medication as well. So I was to lower the dosage of medication that I was taking.
You've halved them both, haven't you?
Yeah, I've halved them both.
So Penny's now, she still gets pretty tired in the afternoons. So if you haven't realised by now, Penny's pregnant. She's 6 weeks pregnant. But she's on half her medication now, so she gets a bit tired in the afternoons. And she's just generally tired because she's in her first trimester and pretty ill. She's showing a brave face right now, but she's been pretty sick the last week and a half.
Yeah, it's been rotten. I thought that morning sickness, I knew that it could occur any time of day, but I thought it might dissipate at some point during the day. Like I thought you might get windows or pockets of feeling okay, but I'm yet to experience that. It's just nauseousness 24/7. It's
Lovely.
disgusting. It's disgusting. Over the top of that is
The narc.
the narc and just feeling really fatigued. It's a rad. Oh, also, leading up to getting pregnant, last year I went and saw a nutritionist to sort out some gut issues and to make sure that my hormones and everything were well placed before trying to have a baby. And I've been working with her for probably about 9 months now. So I think that was really good just for my overall health, like
General
amazing.
health.
General health, amazing.
General
I
health.
made Alex go. Then I also started taking folic acid and other things that were...
Yeah, the normal things that you should take before trying to conceive. But
yeah.
some people might know about that, Penny.
No, I know. I didn't know about it.
Yeah. Anyways, it worked.
Moving on. When we saw my specialist that day, did anything change for you? Were you like,
No.
oh, this is going to be a breeze?
I mean, I was pretty motivated to have children. Already, I was going to do whatever had to be done, even if it destroyed me. I was going to get it done. Geez, that was a good day. Because before that, I thought I'm going to be dealing with a zombie for about 12 months, and then the information came through, you know, that you could be on certain medication, maintain like a certain level of normality. You could be on certain medication, could maintain a certain amount of normality, and yeah, like I wouldn't have to be like a carer
Yeah.
to you.
What I love about finding out that it was the best case scenario basically was prior to Alex, a lot of the other relationships I've had, some of them had broken down because of narcolepsy and having kids and all of that sort of thing. And Alex chose, even knowing the worst case scenario of having children and what that was going to be, he still chose to stay with me. Which
Sucker
is
for
so
punishment.
lovely. Yeah. That was like a little reward. A reward.
I did sort of feel like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I was willing to do the hardest, most
Yeah.
difficult situation. I was all in on it.
Yeah, he was.
Anyway, and then they just gave us the great news. They're like, oh, it's not going to be that bad. It's still going to be hard, but it's not nowhere near as hard as what it could have been.
Yeah.
And I was so happy about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we both walked out going, ah!
Yeah, it was, yeah, that was a good day.
Did you also think she was a legend?
Yeah, no, she's a legend.
She's a legend.
Yeah.
My specialist is a legend.
Yeah, she loves it. She's great. She's just, yeah, and she loves Penny because I think Penny's a true narcoleptic in her eyes and a young woman who wants to sort of challenge the system a little bit by going against what the norm is. Because she did say most narcoleptics don't have children.
So at the beginning of this month, I found out that I was pregnant, which is earlier than what.
It was a little surprise.
A little bit of a surprise. I was quite shocked. I still think I'm a little bit in shock.
Yeah.
And you were stoked?
Just stoked. Just pure, pure happiness.
What have you noticed about me since I've become pregnant? Anything?
Few things. Penny's a little more sensitive to affection.
I'm like,
she's like, I feel gross.
personal space.
Just don't
touch me.
leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, because we're always quite affectionate. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I get it. You're pregnant.
It almost makes me, not you.
I'm just grotesque. Suddenly.
It almost makes me feel sick.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things make you feel sick too, like a lot of smells. Penny's just like, oh no, don't get that away from me. Very fatigued, very tired, sleeping. You know, normally she'd have 1 nap a day, she's having like 3. Boobs have grown a lot bigger.
Enormous.
You've been super tired, just really tired. Penny's been pretty good at recognising that she's probably going to be moody, so she's probably tried to limit it. But to be honest, I'm just so happy she's pregnant. She can do whatever she wants. I don't, you know. I get the occasional hug here and there, and I'm like, that's all I need.
How do you feel about becoming a dad, and what are you most looking forward to?
It's having kids is like a life ambition for me.
That is literally what you said.
Yeah.
When I showed Alex the pregnancy test, Alex was stoked, and I was still just in complete shock and was for about a week. I think I still am. You said, you don't understand. This is like my life purpose and goal.
Yeah. Well, it was. It is. You know, to have children. I come from a big family and I got heaps of nieces and nephews. I just always wanted to have kids. For me, it was just a major relief.
Yeah.
Like we've had all the issues with what she, you know, what she can have from supplements and the medication, and I thought it was going to be just like really brutally tough. And
we're going to wrap this up because I'm getting a wave.
Yeah, you know, sport's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I start introducing them to sport.
Alex is a sports scientist, FYI.
Yeah.
Which is probably got a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love sport. Played a lot of sport, but I just love to see them just do things that you're proud of. Don't know, just looking forward to it.
We're going to wrap up on Painting Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah, and don't the bloggers say subscribe here? Subscribe here and
like and
like
subscribe
and click the bell
and,
and watch this through to the end, even though this is the end.
If you know of anyone who has narcolepsy or is going through something and they are looking to have a family but feel like it's maybe not on their cards, please share it with them, because that's the whole point of us doing this.
It's the main thing we're doing it for, is for other people to, you know, realise you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You can do it. And also, I want you to remember that this is an edited version of our lives. And remember that these videos and any video on YouTube or Instagram or social media is highly edited. So to compare your life with our life, don't even bother. It's not worth it. It'll make you miserable.
Everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone's different. But this is just our version of what's going on.
Yeah. Like right now, Penny looks really beautiful and radiant.
Yeah.
But really, as soon as I stop recording this, she's going to go back to laying on the couch and feeling terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might show that one day. All right. See ya.
Bye.